Okay, so I've come back after a little hiatus of, I don't know, 8 months has it been? It's been too long. But now I'm ready to come back. I have a lot of ideas for videos. In the time I've been away, I've been writing a lot. So I've set up some books, put them on Amazon, been doing a lot of marketing with those, and so that's moving along quite well. Before I start my next Hattie Moon mystery book, which is called the Violetta Protocol, I wanted to take a break from all that writing, and do some fun videos. So I'm back to showing today I'm going to show a tarot deck that I purchased at some time. I don't even know when I bought it. But here it is, the American Renaissance Tarot. I bought it because of the packaging. I mean, it looks like a book. It feels like a book. It's like a nice, big, heavy, old book. And you can put it on your bookshelf. And it almost feels like leather, but it's not. It is paper, but it's really quite impressive. And the cards were in here, which I'm going to show you. And it also came with a book, which I will refer to as I go through the deck. The deck itself is it's a cool deck. It's very kind of colonial vibe to it, or Victorian vibe. Like, you'll see the vibe for it. And it's not Rider-Waite-Smith. There's some of it there, but not a lot of it. There's some poetic license taken with the deck. So we're going to go through the deck. First, I'll show you the deck. And then when I'm talking about the card, I will maybe wonder what exactly the card means, because, it doesn't follow your traditional deck of like a Rider-Waite-Smith. But they're kind of cute cards. They're long and skinny, a slight sheen on them. They're not the thickest and they're not the thinnest. They're a nice quality card. So let's go through them. And here's the book, and it's quite thick as well. It's quite a thick book. I'm not sure how many pages it has, but you'll see it also has. Well, here's the back of the book, and here's the back of the card. So they're matchy, which is nice. The illustrated by Celeste Pill, and the writing was by Thea Wershing. I think she was the writer. Yeah. And so there's that. So you have color. It's a full color book. You don't see a lot of color because the color is actually like a small medallion kind of picture of the card. But it goes through the card, the title, gives you some keywords, and then it gives you a quote: "We are stardust, we are golden, we are billion-year-old carbon." Okay. And then it talks a lot about the card, which unfortunately I won't be able to read, so I'm not sure this is going to work, because it's kind of dark where I am. Probably can read it better on the computer. So that won't work if I try to read what the card is. Let me see if I can get something. Okay, we'll put this aside. We won't worry about that right now. But anyways, when you're lost for meaning, the book covers it. Okay. So first I want to show you the deck. And then if I want to read something, I will go up. There's a light over there that I can grab and bring it back. Actually, there's one in my room I can bring. Hold on, I come right back. On another note, so I'm back. I bought these things are on Amazon. These lights. I don't know. They're like puck lights, and they're you charge them with your computer, and they're round. Come in 3 different light. That's light, dark, lighter, even lighter than that. And I don't know, I got 2 for like $29. These are really nice. Put them anywhere in the house, on shelving, or we have ours in the bedroom. But they're very nice. And I think I could be able to read. They're very lightweight, but they come in a stand, like if you're on a table or something. Yeah, I can definitely read with this. So we'll keep this handy if I want to read inside the book. Just turn it off. There you go. Okay, let's get back to the deck. So here we are. The Fool. The Magician. So you see they're old. They're like, I don't know, something that would be like 1850s, 1800s. High Priestess. The Empress. So they're very cool cards. Nice images. The Emperor. Here we have the Pope. The Hierophant. The Lover, as opposed to lovers. It's a little different. A Chariot. Justice. This is kind of nice. We the People, like the Constitution. The Hermit. It's got an Edgar Allan Poe vibe. Wheel of Fortune. Unusual character, this guy. Looks kind of modernistic. Strength. Hangman. Greek influence, I guess. Death. Death is different. There's no horse. There's skeletons in there. So the death is a little bit different than others. Temperance. Jane Eyre vibe. The Devil is very different. The Tower is very, very interesting and very much reflective of today's world. This is Congress. Prophetic, I guess. The Star. A man. They have mixed genders. They have mixed races, ethnicities. Moon card. The Sun card, with reference to Philadelphia. Judgment. Good old Abe. And the World card. So it's kind of nice. That's kind of cool. I like it. Okay, let's put these aside. Go into the... I did notice all the aces do have hands in them. The Ace of Swords. The Two of Swords. It's not, see again, here we don't see our, the choices that we see normally in the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is a great card in Rider-Waite-Smith. Let's just see how do they describe that. Let me put my little light on. See if I can read it. Let's go to the Two of Swords. Okay, here's the Two of Swords. There's the picture. And let me see if I can find Now, these are very long descriptions, but let me read 2 paragraphs. One interpretation of the Two of Swords is of grief or trauma that overwhelms conscious thought. The speaker is so overcome by unconscious forces that he recognizes neither the dank tarn of Auber nor the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. I'm not sure what that refers to. In spite of the fact that he buried his wife in this very land. Oh, it's about Poe. Poe, beloved wife Virginia, Poe's beloved wife Virginia died early in 1847, the year of the Eulalie was written. Although it's tempting to believe that Poe wrote Eulalie about his grief over Virginia, loss had been a constant theme in his lyrics since the publication of his first collection of poems in 1827. The philosophy of composition Poe called the death of a beautiful woman is the most poetic topic in the world. A more hopeful interpretation of this card can be drawn from the appearance of Venus as the morning star following the ghoul-haunted night of Halloween. So that's what that means there. Though the speaker wanders among ghosts, the limbo of lunary souls, Astarte presages the dawn in her morning aspect. The ancients believed that Astarte tended to the souls of the stars in the sky, suggesting the esoteric belief every man and every woman is a star. Ulalume may have died, but she is resurrected as a star and returned to her cosmic origins. Well, now, that's a lot of stuff to talk about here. So it is a very, I can see now how this is being developed, is the American Renaissance. That's interesting. So obviously it's not Rider-Waite-Smith, but if you're prone to study writers of the 18th, 17th, 19th century, this might be the perfect tarot deck for you. Let's continue. Okay, let's get back to the cards. Oh, that's the first time I actually looked at the book. The Three of Swords. Three of Swords in Rider-Waite-Smith is, the Three of Swords getting it, piercing the heart. The Four of Swords, that is Rider-Waite-Smith-ish. The Five of Swords shows some conflict. The Six of Swords, there's a silhouette, very dark shadow of a ship there. The Seven of Swords. It's interesting, there's that character in the Rider-Waite-Smith is facing you, and then there's something going on in the background. The Eight of Swords, also known as Edward Scissorhands, he's got these things poking out here. Nine of Swords. And poor Edgar gets his comeuppance. Ten of Swords. Instead of pages, they have the pioneers, Pioneer of Swords. They have, instead of knights, they have missionaries, swords. And then there's Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. And the king looks like Edgar himself. The Ace of Wands. Now, what the heck is this? Oh, I see. I believe this is a hand that's holding this wand of some kind. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands, Two of Guns. Again, very different from Rider-Waite-Smith. Let's look at that one. Two of Wands. Let's see what it says. Two of Wands. So there's the card, and let's see what it says. The twos in the tarot are, for the most part, ineffectual, and the Two of Wands is no exception to this rule. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what that means, even. Starbuck is an accomplished and intrepid sailor, but he is outranked by the captain of a ship. Just as a Three of Wands, we're talking about the Two of Wands, but it says, just as the Three of Wands trumps the Two of Wands in a reading. So there's the 3 and there's the 2. The cult of personality surrounding Captain Ahab. Wait a minute, Captain Ahab's got to be this other one. No, let's get the Two of Wands. If you've drawn the Two of Wands, you may be the second in command or mired in the hell of middle management. That's funny. I like that. You may be the second in command or mired in the hell of middle management, represented by your inferiors, but also unable to rule in your own right. So that's the description for this Two of Wands here. Most likely you're confronting a situation in which power costs more than you're willing to pay. Are you willing to give up your nights and weekends and any semblance of social life in order to get what you want? Perhaps winning the game means engaging in an activity that goes against your personal values. It might be best to cede this contest to the person who needs a victory so badly that they'll sacrifice every scruple to attain one. Okay, so, a little poetic license taken here. In Moby Dick, and then, so this is talking about Moby Dick, Starbuck scoffs at Ahab's quest to get revenge on the whale who took off his leg in an epidemic battle. Okay, so you get a sense of they're talking a lot about literature of the times, the American Renaissance of literature. That's interesting. So if you're a literature person, this could be just the tarot deck for you. So here's the 2 and here's the 3. And here's the 4 of Wands. I don't know what's happening there, what's coming out of their heads. The 5 of Wands, again, this is different than Rider-Waite-Smith. The 6 of Wands is a celebration of sorts. The 4 of Wands is a celebration, right? I just don't understand this one here. Okay. But, you can't understand everything in your life. You just have to take what you can understand and move on. 7 of Wands. 8 of Wands. 9 of Wands. And 10 of Wands. The Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. This is a pretty picture. I like this one. There's a lot of things, if you're reading intuitively, there's a lot of things you can get from this picture. Queen of Wands. And the King of Wands. There's indigenous people, Native American maybe. Of course, he has a beard, so I'm not sure what that is. So that's the wand suit. Ace of Coins. Of the Pentacles. 2 of Coins, very similar to Rider-Waite-Smith. 3 of Coins, sort of similar as 3 people. 4 of Coins. I don't know what this is. This is a dark picture. There's someone up here in the attic, but he looks like he's stuck up there. So that's strange. Should we look at the 4 of Coins? Let's see what they have to say about the 4 of Coins. 4 of Coins. Oh, I got the coin. Okay, 4 of Coins. So the 4 of Coins This refers to, okay, this card, at least in the notations in the book, refers to writer Jacobs, who wrote Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. And the master in the book is called Dr. Flint. Now, who wrote this book? Let's read the beginning. Sometimes you just need to feel safe. The Four of Coins depicts the slave, Harriet Jacobs, in a small attic crawl space where she lived for 7 years without adequate shelter, air, sunlight, or exercise. This was not a cruel torture devised by a slave master, but an exiled Jacobs entered into willingly in order to escape her hellish existence as house slave to a sadistic master. Jacob's hell was more emotional than physical. Her duties were light compared to those of field slaves, and she didn't suffer much in the way of physical abuse. But when she was only 15, her master began a campaign of sexual harassment and psychological persecution against her, the scope of which can only be described as evil. I'm not sure who wrote this book. I guess. So I didn't know about this book, and I never heard of this book. The Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. Actually, I think I did hear the title once, a long time ago. I never read it. So that's what this card is about. So, again, if you have an interest in that story or something of early American literature, this might be a really good book and a deck of cards for you. You may not use them even as tarot. You could use them as intuitive readings as you pull them. When you do intuitive readings, I did some cards myself that I did through AI. I put them in a book, and it's interesting when you do cards. When you I didn't illustrate it. I gave prompts to AI, and I thought. So I started thinking about how could I use these cards, and I thought just pick a card, and look at the picture, and say, ask yourself, how does this relate to me today? Now, in this sense, you could pick the card, you could look in the book, and then you could say, okay, in what way do I feel like I'm entrapped, or in what way am I being abused or mistreated? And that could be a meditation for the day that you could do. So I could see these cards not being used so much for tarot as for oracle cards, because the book is quite good, actually, and especially if you have a literary interest, literary bent interest in your world, in your life. Okay, let's move on. Five of Coins. Six of Coins, a childhood card. Seven of Coins. Did he do enough? The Eight of Coins. There's a Civil War person. Nine of Coins. I like this picture a lot. I like the way she's dressed and the flower. I just like the composition of it. 10 of Coins is very boring. And my least favorite card in the deck. So then we're into the Page and the Knight. That's missionary. The Queen of Coins. It's a nice card. And the King of Coins. Very cool pictures. Very cool pictures. Lastly, we have the Cups. The Ace of Cups. So nice. Again, now, he's holding a stein of beer or something. Is holding that. Or is it a woman? I guess it's a woman holding something. And the Two of Cups. This Two of Cups is a mini lover's card, but you clearly see there are 4 legs, or 3 legs, so there's just a couple. They're naked in the garden. Ah, naked in the garden. That could be referenced to the Garden of Eden. 3 of Cups, celebration. 4 of Cups. You only see 1 cup. You don't see 4 cups. Let's look at that one. 4 of Cups. Let's see. Okay. Let's just read the first paragraph. The 4 of Cups for the American Renaissance Tarot was inspired by Nathaniel Hawthorne's 1836 story, The Minister's Black Veil. Though Hawthorne does not specify a time period for the story, we can assume that it takes place during the colonial period because of the minister's obsession with sin. The minister, Reverend Hooper, accountably dons a black veil over his eyes at Sunday service one morning and refuses to take it off for the rest of his life. What? That's an interesting idea, isn't it? That's an interesting story idea. The minister, let's see, refuses to take it off for the rest of his life. Rumors fly among his congregation that the black veil must signify a self-inflicted punishment for some secret sin. But the minister's strange caprice actually is a sign of his religious mania. Whoa. So, in the story, Reverend Hooper officiates a wedding while wearing his black veil, an act that naturally casts a shadow over what should be a happy occasion. The image of the 4 of Cups imaginatively expands upon the moment that he goes to roast the couple. When the Reverend Hooper looks down at the table to pick up a glass, his veil falls partially away from his eyes, allowing him to see a full cup in his peripheral vision. The other 3 cups can only be glimpsed through the dark and dismal screen created by the veil. Ah, there it. See, it's too dark on this. It's too dark. There you go. There are the 4 cups. Oh, wow. I did not see that in this picture. Did you guys see it? I don't know. Well, now I see it. Gee, it's probably good to have the light on this thing. Now that I'm almost done with the video. That is very cool. Let's go back to the, can't find it. Okay, 5 of Cups. Let's keep this lit up. Oh, she doesn't look too happy. 6 of Cups. 7 of Cups. 8 of Cups. 9 of Cups. Now, this was another one that I wondered about. Let's look the meaning up for that one. Okay, there we are. Let's look at the light is better. Like the hangman, let's okay, let's push this down further so you can see the picture. There's the picture. Like the hangman card, the Knight of Cups suggests winning by giving up, or in the traditional meaning of this card is a wish come true. What? That's a wish come true? Though the image of the fictional slave, Uncle Tom, in his death agony does not present an outcome most of us would desire. Part of Harriet Beecher Stowe's genius was to depict her protagonist as an exceptional Christian, Tom impressed Stowe's white readership with his meekness and with his ability to repay torture with forgiveness and love. Ugh. Most 19th century Americans assumed that the American race was inferior, yet few would go so far as to say that black people were not of the human race or had no soul. By emphasizing Tom's Christian-like holiness, Stowe made the point that heaven does not practice racial discrimination, and therefore the flimsy social justification for slavery was a sin, one that would be held against every pro-slavery American on Judgment Day. So here we deal with things that happened over the last, 500 years. 300 years of our society, of our country. This is interesting. And of course, we talk about religion. There's a lot of very religious time, which some people are still very much still in religious, what's the word? Of religion, people of religion. And, this kind of talks about how people who were religious sometimes weren't necessarily the most forgiving people. And that, again, reverberates to today. Ten of Cups, Pioneer Cups. So that should be, yes, this is the, wait a minute, this is not right. This should be Ten of Cups. Oh yeah, that's the Ten of Cups, the Pioneer Cup, which is the Page, the Missionary Cups, which is the Knight, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. So there you have it. It is really quite interesting. I just looked at the book, and I had no idea it had so many. It was all about literary references. The other aspect to this deck, I don't really need the light on, but I'm going to keep it on here for a second, is this fantastic cover. I mean, the box is just outrageously fantastic. I just went on Amazon. I checked to see how much it's going for. It's like $23, I think, on Amazon. Maybe something you want to give someone who's into that kind of literary, who studies or reads, loves historical novels, American historical novels, Harriet Beecher Stowe, the Edgar Allan Poe, and this would be a very, very nice gift for someone who enjoys those kinds of stories. The other thing is, as I was reading these, this is a great inspirational book. I mean, maybe you don't know a lot about books that were written at that time, novels. This would be a nice introduction to all the novels that were written back then. Nice summaries, more interesting than Cliff Notes. And they have a little picture with them as well. You can draw a lot of inspiration from older books as well, and sometimes the old books sort of mirror the present day books. I mean, sometimes it's the same struggle, and in today's political climate, you can see that more so. I think today, what today seems like and what it did in the past. There are some. It seems like today's world, we've gone backwards. We're not going forward, even though that we have a lot of technological changes. The thinking is sort of, the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor. Religion is playing a larger part in a lot of people's lives. People are not thought of as belonging as one unit group. It's all being categorized and separated. It's a lot you can learn from the past to the present, and hopefully a new way forward. So there it is, my review of the American Renaissance Tarot. I don't know. I think some people would really like this for the holidays. But I don't need one, thank you. Anyways, have a great day.